Welcome to Holistic Horseworks Talks. Join us with founder April Love as we talk about equine care. Learn what you can do to keep your horse happy, healthy, rideable, and sound through their 30s. Have a question you'd like to submit to the podcast? Just email April at HolisticHorseWorks.com for a chance to get it featured on the next episode.
Hi, this is Lillian. I'm here with April Love. I heard that one of your clients' horses colicked recently, and I was wondering what horsemen can do to prepare for colic and prevent it from happening in the first place.
Hi, yeah, it was one of my regular clients. So I offer bodywork sessions. If they stay on a regular monthly program, it's $60 to $70 a month for horse tune-ups, and her horses do dressage. And they get turned out and they have a beautiful environment, but all of a sudden she had a mysterious colic on this 12-year-old horse, and he just went down bad. And of course, it's always late at night and no trailer. And so the vet came out and they were working on him and giving him Banamine and all those things and trying to get stuff moving. And they were saying nothing's moving, no gut sounds. Colon was displaced or something, and they were going to have to do surgery. So then they're running around and they borrow this 2-horse straight load trailer that was way too small for this warm blood. And they're using ropes and things and trying to get him in, and he's more stressed trying to get crammed into this small little trailer. But before all that happened, she has my book, Horse 101 and Horse 102, but it wasn't at the barn. And in my Horse 102 Holistic Alternatives that is available on Amazon for like $9, in the beginning of the book, it says to print this off, laminate it, and have it at the barn, because when something happens, you get emotional, everything goes out the door and you forget what to do. So, like having Banamine in the fridge, and anytime the vet goes to your barn for another horse, if your Banamine is expired or whatever, grabbing another one. You don't want to do bute for colic. You want to, have the muscles more relaxed. I tell everyone to have Epsom salt around, because the side of the Epsom salt container says for constipation, put a tablespoon of Epsom salt in warm water and drink. So you can syringe that to the horses, because by osmosis, the salt water goes in the stomach. Like if you give too many electrolytes, they'll have diarrhea. Well, when your horse is colicking, you have an impaction. They can't burp. It's got to go out the other way. So is it a piece of plastic? Is it because they're not chewing well or they're wolfing their food? But whatever is in there that's blocked is fermenting and creating the gases. And it's just a huge bellyache. So they go down and try to roll to move things around. But if they flip over on their back, they can actually twist that intestine. So that's why they always say, don't let the horse roll, walk them. Sometimes I'll ask them to trot so that they can kind of bounce up and down. So the first thing that I do is do the warm salt water if I can. I also grab DoTerra DigestZen oil. You can keep it in the barn, never goes bad. Heat doesn't hurt it. I open up their lip. I just pour a whole bunch in the side of their lip. It tastes like black licorice. And then I put it on my hand and saturate the belly button, because it can actually go up through that intestinal line, up through the belly button. You can try it in your belly button, because it is a people thing, and they do have chewables for people that help get rid of acid reflux, constipation, gas, and bloating. So, and then I'll rub it on all sides of the horse's belly, and we'll do my yoga buttocks and belly lifts. So I go on one side of the horse, right in the girth area, and you get all the way under the horse and you just lift that whole side of the ribs up. So you're standing, pushing with your back leg, so that you're just kind of shifting everything up gentle and slow. And then I'll go to the other side and lift those ribs. And then I'll ask for the belly lift in the middle, where we just scratch, and I'll do the butt tuck where they roll up the hind. And then you want to combine that. So you have someone doing the butt tuck while you're doing the belly lift, and it brings and it moves the whole large and small intestine, rolling anything forward, left side, right side, just trying to get whatever's blocking in there to move so the gas can pass. So, and then we'll walk them around and, of course, not let them eat, maybe trot a couple steps trying to get things going. And then I'll do some more DigestZen. And we've gotten a lot of horses out of severe colic with that. So in this instance, all she remembered was the belly lifts. She didn't have any probiotic. Sometimes we'll do a liquid probiotic. I like the Dynamite one. And it's called DynaPro. If you have DynaSpark, that works as well. It's a natural electrolyte that's molasses based. So instead of having to do the Epsom salt syringed in water, which you're probably going to wear a lot of it, I've had to lift the horse's jaw up with a big CC and syringe that in their mouth and then hold their mouth shut, but put my fingers in, wiggle their tongue so that they swallow. And you end up wearing most of it, where the DynaSpark is salty, molasses based, and they eat it. They actually like the flavor, and you're not going to end up wearing it. So I'm getting that from my client. She's going to have the DoTerra DigestZen. She's going to have the DynaSpark and the DynaPro on hand in case it ever happens again. And she's going to print and laminate that sheet I have of all the steps you do while you're waiting for the vet, because the vet was, I think, 3 or 4 hours to come out. It was 1 o'clock in the morning when they're trying to get him in the trailer. His buddy's screaming back in the stall. He's not wanting to get in. The trauma of all that. And they haul him to the vet, and they had opened the back door without signaling to the person to untie him, and he shot out backwards and was still tied. So he struggled, broke the rope, fell down. In all of that turmoil, he reset his own gut, and he came out and just wanted to start eating. And then they called me and say, okay, you need to come fix the horse again when he gets home. But, sometimes just putting a horse in a trailer, I prefer the open stock style. They poop, they're getting nervous, they're going to be hauling somewhere. So just walking him into a trailer sometimes will get the bowels moving after you've done all this. So we've added something salty, to get some diarrhea and some loose stuff kind of going and moving. And we've lifted all the ribs on the left side, the right side. We've combined with 2 people, belly lift and butt tuck. There is a way that you can do it by yourself. You do one side and then you go and do the other side. We've walked them around, we've trotted them, maybe a little bit more DigestZen, a little bit more DynaSpark. It's just, we got to keep that moving, and you got to think what's going to relieve the gas pocket that's in this tummy that just keeps fermenting and growing. So just, don't let them lay down and roll. Don't hose them. I saw one client hosing a horse because it was all sweaty, but then it kind of went into shock and it couldn't dry, and it was just shivering from head to toe. So that was just adding to severe intestinal cramps and pain. You can get Banamine either in liquid form or paste. You have to talk to your vet about that, and giving it oral or giving a shot, whatever your comfort zone is, but those are the first things that you want to get going. My horse, he'd eaten some dry pellets, and in his stall on a rubber mat, he was pawing at the rubber mat. And I'm like, oh no, here we go again. It's a 3-day holiday. It's Memorial Day. My arm is in a cast. I can't put him in the trailer. What am I going to do for my horse that's showing all these signs of colic? And so it's just going through all those steps to help them get out. And then once they're out of the colic, you need to keep something going through their gut, because there's a reason. They didn't just, eat one thing. There's something that's building up in there. And a lot of times that can be, they call it enterolith or stones. So when the horse is young, if they eat a piece of plastic or baling twine and they can't digest it, the body starts sending calcium to surround it to protect the body, like making a pearl in an oyster. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And those are the horses that are older that look like they have this really low hanging tummy. They either have a lot of sand in there or a lot of stones developing, and it can be more than one. And they won't like to canter either. So our preventative program is to do psyllium pellets a couple of times a year to keep sand out, and to feed apple cider vinegar. It has to be raw, organic from the mother. And it's proven to help break down stones and enteroliths. excessive calcification of side bone, ring bone, arthritic knees and hocks. It's also anti-cancer. You can Google all the benefits of raw organic apple cider vinegar. And my horses, it was somewhere between a quarter of a cup or a third of a cup a day. So the yoga that my program is, a 5-step yoga that you'll find on my YouTube channel, Holistic Horseworks. All of those stretches moves the whole intestines, and people notice when they do the butt tuck and the belly lifts that the horse has a really big manure passing after. So it's really helping the gut stay healthy when you're doing this yoga and rolling their body up like a cat and keeping everything moving. A horse just standing out in the pasture, retired, is going to have low-lying areas of sand or rocks in their gut. That's going to be a blockage someday. So do the yoga, feed the apple cider vinegar, and you can find my Horse 102 Holistic Alternatives book on Amazon. I think it's $6 in Kindle and $9 in paperback, and they make great gifts. You can get the Horse 101 and the Horse 102 on Amazon as stocking stuffers for all your favorite horse lovers.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Holistic Horseworks Talks with April Love. Remember to check the show notes for links to all the resources mentioned in this episode. Have a question you'd like to submit to the podcast? Email April at HolisticHorseWorks.com for a chance to get it featured on the next episode. Loved this information? Share it with your horse friends. They'll find it helpful too. To learn more, visit HolisticHorseWorks.com. And before you go, make sure you have a copy of our free ebook, Horse 101, Everything You Wish You Had Known Before You Got Your First Horse, at HorseAcademy101.com.